Hey, how we doing? I'm back. I've been gone for a week. I do apologize. Been sick, so just finally got back on my feet. It was a pretty bad cold, so can't apologize for that. But I wanted to make this video prior to me going on stream here because I had a lot of thoughts. I just got through. I was watching a video today. It was a retrospective on Star Ocean 2. It was done by Gaming Productions. It's a really good video. I encourage everybody to go and check it out if you can. So yeah, it basically just went through the first story. So it wasn't really the remake here, but it did have, there's a lot of similarities, obviously. It's the same story and everything like that. So there's a lot of things that I can take from it and, I can make my own opinions on, and that's kind of what happened. I was watching it and, it's like, I had my own thoughts and I just wanted to get them out there. So that's why I made this recording real quick. So yeah, first off, obviously the gameplay's changed in this game. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the gameplay because that's apples and oranges at this point. But the story, I do have my own opinions on, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the story a little bit, or my opinions on how they executed the story, I guess. So, first off, I am in agreement with him that the story is very simple, very basic, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You don't always need a story that's groundbreaking, that makes you question your own values, your own, ideals and stuff like that. So yeah, that's not a big deal. Sometimes simple is good. Sometimes, the story, all it needs to be is here you are, you're the good guys, here's the bad guys, go beat them up. And that's fine. Even if it took a while for us to meet the bad guys, because it's like halfway through the story. Not a big deal. However, one of the things I kinda didn't entirely agree on, and I think that's more of an opinion than a actual fact or anything like that, so don't get me wrong, is how they went about building this world. How you had to go out of your way to understand some of the elements that came with, like the world, the bad guys, your own characters at times. I understand that's a little annoying, and it might be in the long run a lot better if this game did streamline it a little bit, where your characters were set, where you had more moments with those characters, and you didn't have to rely solely on private actions in order to, get a good sense of these characters and what they're about, to make it more endearing, really. Because, yeah, I do agree with that. Without these private actions, most of these characters would probably be very boring and unforgettable. But at the same time, I kind of understand what Tri-Ace was trying to do. Remember, if memory serves, Tri-Ace broke off from the original Tales of team. It's called Team Wolf. They broke off because of creative differences. And I think their creative differences was mostly because they wanted to have more kind of control, of decision making, choices, making those choices. And the first two Star Ocean games in particular, they kind of let that be known. Actually, even Valkyrie Profile. The idea of choice, making decisions, who to recruit, game endings, and even little things like choosing to figure out, more about the bad guys, the antagonists, stuff like that. This game can be very, very simple. You know what I mean? You don't need to know the bad guys. You can just know that they're the bad guys and you gotta go kill them, and that's it. Or you can, like I said, take some time, stop, breathe, smell the roses, whatever. and actually go explore, go see the world, understand the world. And it's kind of a very innovative way of, building the world. And it might not be for everybody, and that's why I'm kind of like I don't necessarily think of what Game & Productions said as wrong. I just feel like there needed to be some perspective. Tri-Ace, I believe the members of them were very big on tabletop RPG, stuff like that. And just like tabletop RPGs, you can kind of decide how invested you are in certain things, like lore, like world building and stuff like that. You could be that type of person who loves to see a fantasy world brought to life, or you can be very, goal oriented. It's like, here is the bad guy, go kill the bad guy. And Star Ocean 2, you can do either one of those. Just the same. And I don't know if this was one of the first games that kind of gave you that freedom of choice. And it definitely has been executed better since then. I think, like, if you want to know my opinion, I think Mass Effect 2, they were very much gold standard of this type of thing. But I think it's a really good idea, something that could have been fleshed out, and I feel like Tri-Ace in general kind of went away from that in their later games. Like Star Ocean 3, if I remember correctly, they didn't have a private action like command. You just go in the town and everybody's just kind of walking around in their own place in that town. You can talk to them, you can interact with them, but you don't really know if there will be any event that happens or whatever. You just kind of have to constantly talk to them, So that kind of changed things, and I think, like, in the fourth game, I believe most of the private actions, if you want to call it that, was relegated to the Countess. So, And the big thing about the fourth game too was your party members were set. You knew who you were going to get. So, like I said, they kind of went away from those choices. So, anyway, I don't believe this is a bad way to develop a game. Could it have been executed better? Of course. But also, like I said, I think it's one of the early entries when it comes to exploring choice. It ain't perfect, but I see where they were going. And honestly, in some aspects, I kind of enjoy it. It gives you more replayability, more value, seeing what you missed. And I am very prone myself, sometimes. I rush through a game for the story. I just want to know what the next part is. So it's always good to maybe just relax and take a step back and explore the world. It's very interesting to do it that way, because it kind of makes you want to slow down and not get to the end of the game. Anyway, so that was my thought on the matter. And, yeah. I hope that, like I said, it's just my own opinion, my own dream. If they do make Blue Sphere, they do make a Blue Sphere R and have these characters back, and they should. I hope they kind of learn from this and maybe, better refine the private action ability and stuff like that. So, I mean, again, I know they had it in that game. I don't know enough about the game, but like I said, I hope that they give it enough life that it deserves. And yeah, and maybe, like I said, maybe not just relegate the characters to just private actions too. I don't think you have to. We'll see though. Never played the game, so I don't know how. I don't know how much it matters. Your characters might just be set for all I know. Anyway, that was my opinion on it. Go check out Gaming Productions video. It was really good. And other than that, I'll see you later. Have a good one.